What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. So we're approaching our last preseason game against the Jaguars, and apparently the starters will get some burn. Jacksonville has already said no. They're not playing their starters. They played them in the first two games. Cohen is like, we're good. We know our team sucks. No, he didn't say that. He said, no, we're good. We've already done a couple games. We kind of know what we want to work on. We're fine. Miami on the other side is like we still are working on some stuff. I know Tua lobbied to play in the game again because he feels like we need to get some more work. I like parts of that and parts of that I don't like because that means that hey, we don't have some things down packed yet, and I want to practice to get it down. And also, I'm like, hey, we've had all off season. We should have a lot of this stuff down right now. This could also be a chance to work with. I mean, Jalen Waddle's been out, so he wants Waddle to play in the game. So maybe it's like, hey, let me just get Waddle in a couple of routes to see him out there. This might be a chance to get him throwing to the Taj Washingtons of the world, who may be on the practice squad, borderline cut line, or if Waller is going to play, hey, let's get Waller out there. So there may be some elements of that. Given the unreasonable number of injuries we've had, part of me is like, I kind of just want to let the backups go in there and cook and just not risk another possibility of a starter getting hurt. It hurts my spirit. Every time I think another dude got hurt, it just keeps happening. So I want to get the extra work, but also don't want the injuries. And it almost seems like Miami can't play without being hurt. That's almost what it feels like. I know it's not technically true, but it kind of feels that way. I don't think Jacksonville's a particularly good opponent, but I just think being on the field and trying going through some things that would be a good idea. So, and Coach McDaniel said it's going to be based on what he's seeing on the field and also based on what he's seeing in practice today. So, if we're seeing a lot of sloppiness in practice, he might give him a longer leash. They look real clean in practice, and then in the game, they look clean again for the first drive, two drives. Pull it. We good. We'll see y'all game one against the Colts. But the main reason he wanted to have them play in the game is because we get this game at home. The first two games were on the road. And he kind of wants the guys on the team to get used to the routine of being at home in the stadium, driving to the field, getting in mind of that. Now, 3 weeks ahead of time, that's an interesting idea, but I'm here just to do it for the fans. Like, hey, fans at home, you've been supporting us through a very tumultuous offseason. Let's give them a little something. They want to see the stars on the field. Tyreek and A.MAJOR aren't going to play, of course, but they want to give a little something. Let's give them a little something. Just like a couple pictures, a two with a Waddle 8-yard completion, and then we just wrap it up. I like the fan service about that. I also like the idea to some degree of like, hey, let's get into the routine of driving to the stadium, meeting with the people out front, dapping them up, going into the same facility. I like that aspect of it. I just don't want anybody to get hurt. That's my number one fear. But you're going to see the starters on preseason game number 3, so tune in. We have a lot of issues at running back now because running backs are hurt. We signed 2 running backs that I told you would have zero impact on the team, and I stand by that. But with Jalen Wright and Devon Achane both not playing, we seem to have a little void at running back. So the question is Jeff Wilson a possibility coming back? I will say this: I have always been a Jeff Wilson fan. I know his stats don't wow you, not gaudy. He's not going to break a long run anymore. He's To me, he's almost like a poor man's Brian Robinson now. And Brian Robinson was on the trade block. There was speculation we are going to get him. I did not cover the story because I did not think we were going to get him. And I was very nervous that if I started hyping up the fan base, like, yo, we might get Brian Robinson. Yo, oh, man, you got Brian Robinson and Ali and Jalen and Acham. I just didn't buy it. And sure enough, he ended up going to San Francisco. But the way Jeff Wilson runs to me is very Brian Robinson esque. He's just not as young and good. Like he is a down the hill, 3.5 to 4 yard of carry, physical, just like Chris Berman used to be like, like that's what Jeff Wilson is. He is not here for the foolishness. 3rd and 1, yeah. 4th and 1, yeah. 1st and 10, nah. Don't need you on the field for that. I think one, he knows the offense. He's been with Coach McDaniel in San Fran and with the Dolphins, so he knows the offense through and through. He's a vet, which we obviously need to coach up Ali and maybe to some degree HM. He's already been there, but 3rd year, he's still kind of young, and for sure he's going to be cheap. Like that's the number one thing for Miami. He's going to be cheap. He knows the offense. I think he knows his role. He can be just a tough nosed guy. Like Alexander Madison basically took the position that he was playing. and now he's out for the year. So I don't think it's unreasonable. Like if he wants to come back, he may feel, he may be in his feelings about it to some degree. No smoke there. But if he's not in his feelings and he wants to play, I think he should play. I've always liked the way he ran the ball. He's just a no nonsense kind of running back, and most running backs now are kind of dual threat slasher types. Y'all know I love Jameer Gibbs, but just the way Jeff is like, hey, it's almost like in UFC when I want to say it was like Pettis for somebody else, like he just pointed to the middle of the ring and said, "We're gonna stand here and throw punches." That's Jeff Wilson. Hey, linebacker, meet me in the A gap. It's gonna be a party. One of us is gonna win. I like that little extra toughness, and if he's willing to come back, then I think that would be something to look into. But I do think it's a possibility that he could join the team. Some of y'all, I'm sure, have heard this wild rumor about Tyreek Hill going to the Vikings. And when I heard it, I'm not gonna lie to you, my stomach sunk because Jay Jettas, I've been a fan since LSU. Y'all know I'm Mr. SEC out here. But they're like, could Tyreek Hill play with Justin Jefferson? I'm like, what? That'll make no sense. And then you start kind of peeling back the layers a little bit, and you realize that Jordan Addison's going to be out, that McCarthy is cheap for the next 3 years, that they've been lobbying to get a veteran receiver, and they've been trying to connect Terry McLaurin to them because, one, they're both in NFC. Two, he's disgruntled. Three, it can cripple Washington, who is a direct comp to what Minnesota's trying to do. They're further ahead than Minnesota is. So if we can get this guy from Minnesota, we can make them worse, make us better. He's vet. He's pretty durable. He plays slightly differently to Jefferson. Totally makes sense on the board. But the money Terry McLaurin wants is currently the money that Tyreek Hill has. It's that 30, 32 million a year. Terry McLaurin's like, pay me like AJ Brown, pay me like the rest of those guys. I don't need Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase money, but pay me in those 30s. But Tyreek's already in the 30s, and it's really a 1 year deal. You can get Tyreek for a 1 year deal, and you can pair him up with Justin Jefferson, and you got the young quarterback. You can just basically make the offense tailor made. Hey, all you got to do is give the ball to these stars and let them cook. Minnesota is in a murderous division in terms of talent. I think the worst team at division, I think, is going to still win 8, 9 games. I think Green Bay, especially offensively, is dominant. I think the Bears are kind of a dark horse playoff team. I like what I've seen so far. Their defense was underratedly good. Tight ends are great. I like DJ Moore a great deal. If Caleb lives up to what he can be, you got a problem. And don't get me started with Detroit. The most unreasonable offense in the league. At least they have been for the last few years. So when you're in that division, you can't afford to just think we're going to defense our way to get dubs. You're not going to defense your way in that division. You're going to give up 27 points. The question is, can you score 28? That's Minnesota's whole thing. We can stop some people. We know who their DC is. I'm not going to get into it. They have a lot of talent on that side of the ball. One of the top 10 defenses, borderline top 5. Very good on that side of the ball. However, those boys in your division score points. We know Green Bay's going to score. Detroit been getting points. Chicago last year, dicey. Quarterback was whatever. O-line can be up and down. I think Chicago this year is a borderline top 12, top 10 level offense if Caleb just lives up to what he can be. I think Cole Kmet and Loveland can be great. Y'all know I feel about DJ. Roma Dunze, if he just goes 10% better, I mean, what are we doing? Like, there's guys, and then, of course, Caleb is kind of a dual threat, even though he doesn't run like that. He's a good runner when he wants to be, keeps plays alive. You got to be able to score to win that division, period. And if Addison's going to be out, Jefferson is currently hurt, and usually at some point during the year misses a game or two, he gets a little nicked up. If Jefferson's out and then your number one is just Addison, like, the team can kind of fall off a little bit. Hawkinson is great at tight end. They have a plenty of talent. You add a Tyreek to that team, it really blows it up. And it's only for a 1 year thing. You're not worried about McCarthy's contract. Jefferson is already under contract. I think Addison may have signed an extension, but he's more or less in line for one. He's in trouble now, obviously, so money might be depressed. But I can see how it could happen. Now, I don't think that's the most likely scenario to happen. I think it's more likely that the Dolphins do a trade with Terry McLaurin and Tyreek, and we just swap those guys and we just like go about our way. I think that's a more likely scenario than Tyreek going over there. But it is a possibility. It's like a smaller one, but it can happen, and it's scary to even think about those two playing together. It would almost be like Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase playing on the same team at the same time. Ridiculous. Jump into the comments, and people been hitting me up about these injuries because I harp on injuries so much that people keep asking me like, what injury concerns you the most? And that's a really, I mean, how do you answer the question? So many different ways to answer the question. I think Austin Jackson's injury scares me the most because of what his job is. He's the blind side protector for Tua. I think Devon Achane being hurt would be devastating to the offense. He's the number one running back. He's like our number three-ish receiver. Like he catches a lot of passes. Like at his high point, he's gonna be 5, 6 receptions a game plus all his carries. So that kind of makes him a third receiver too. Obviously, he's the most explosive guy. You can him Tyreek flip a coin, whatever. And it's a calf, which could be an Achilles, and that's kind of scary. But Austin Jackson being the starting right tackle for a left-handed quarterback on an offensive line that has been, let's just call it what it is, not great, scares me. And I wanted to see him all off season, just get on the field, do his thing, like look dominant on that side of the field. Because I want Tua to be able to scan the field without worrying, hey, I might die on this side. Like that's what I want for because y'all feel the same way, I'm sure. Anytime someone's about to hit Tua, it stops my heart. I'm a, and again, he's been pretty good the last year and a half about just like falling down. But if you get hit blindsided, given to his history, that could be it. Like I think the next concussion Tua gets is his last concussion. That's where I'm. I don't mean like he's gonna actually die. I mean I think the team will be like, hey man, we need to move on from this. And I think getting blindside hit by a defensive end that's 6 inches taller than you and 50 pounds heavier, pretty good way to get a concussion. I think it's a pretty easy way. You can see how that happens. You in the pocket, like nah, go, and you just get hit, and then the head snap, and then you hit the ground. You can't break your fall. I don't like any part of what that is. And they're saying he's going to play week one. I saw a report today that said the Dolphins are optimistic and hopeful, which doesn't sound as good as for sure will play, which is what I've been saying for the last couple of weeks. They keep telling us everybody's playing week one. I do not believe it. I don't. I think there will be people that say, you know, if I had to play today, if it was a playoff game, if it was a Super Bowl, I'll give it a go, but I'll just give it a few more weeks just to be safe. I don't believe everybody's playing week one. I can see a real scenario where Tyreek, Waddle, Jackson, like where half these guys don't play. I can see that. But I can also see a scenario where 90% of them do. We will see. I just don't believe when you have that many people targeting the same date that everybody's healing at the same rate. There are some people who, I don't know, will try to do a little extra lifting and be like, oh, I kind of strained that muscle, give me a little bit more time. Or I don't buy it. I'm hoping against hope for Austin Jackson because we kind of need you to be there. I just, like him and James, I'm looking at both of y'all like, are y'all going to be there day one? Because if you're the left guard, you're right in front of where Tua is going to be set up most of the time. And the pressure up the middle for a quarterback is devastating. It's the hardest thing to get past, especially if you're not super mobile. Because if you're really mobile, you kind of go back and then around. But when you're not mobile, you try to go side to side. And those D linemen, when they rush upfield, get downfield, get upfield, but like down, whatever. They get upfield quick. If they bust through the line and Tua sees them and says, oh, let me bail to the left, that D-tack's not that much slower than Tua that he won't get to him within a few steps. But if you can back up and pull like a Josh or Lamar or Jalen and you can just kind of get out of there, you can give yourself more time. That isn't Tua's skill set. If that pressure comes from the middle, he's going to flush left because he's left-handed. And hopefully he just dumps the ball and we just move on and live our life. But I'm scared of the Alton Jackson injury. I'm hoping he plays game one. That's what they're saying. That's what they're reporting. He's the one that scares me the most. Devon Achane is the one that makes the biggest headlines because, one, he's going to be our highest fantasy football pick, so there's money around the economy of Devon Achane. He's also just unreasonably fast, and so when speed is your game, you have a lower leg, Achilles, hamstring, calf kind of thing. Yeah, it's not good. Like those don't heal as well as you think they do. If they told me he had a quad injury, I would feel better about a quad injury honestly than those. But I don't know. I think I'm just hoping against hope that what I believe about these injuries is not true, and that Austin's gonna be there day one. But if he's not there day one, I don't trust any other right tackle on our roster. That, no smoke. Don't trust him. Anybody else at right tackle, I'm dropping the tight end right next to him. And you're getting a chip on every play. I don't care if we have less guys in the route. I'd rather Tua stand upright than hope our right tackle can keep him upright. Not here for it. I'm not doing this with y'all again. Okay? Get healthy. But as always, guys, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.